Hi, I'm at Tarxien Temple in the country of Malta. And if you look behind me, you'll see actually several different temples that were built over 1,100 years, starting about 5,500 years ago. Now, these temples are excellent examples of Neolithic architecture. Now, what is Neolithic? Well, Neo is new, and lithic means stone, so we can also call it the New Stone Age. Now, the Stone Age started tens of thousands of years ago and just marks the time in human history when humans started using tools made out of stones or rocks. And the beginning was called the Paleolithic or Old Stone Age, where the tools were pretty simple. People didn't really start creating buildings or large structures until the later Neolithic era. And this temple from 5,000 years ago is a fine example of that. We still see just stone building materials and stone tools, but now they're being used in far more creative and interesting ways. So you can just get an idea of how difficult it would have been for people to build these giant stone buildings. Now, their purposes can sometimes be unclear to us. We don't know a lot about their religion or their culture. What we do know is that even on this small island 5,000 years ago, humans were starting to build up religion and culture and the beginnings of civilization. So it's very exciting to be at a place like this to get a good sense of Neolithic life. Let's practice a little bit of Stone Age vocabulary. So I'm here at Tarxien Temples in Malta. Now, it's amazing to think about it, but the temples around me were built actually before the pyramids in the Neolithic era. As we know, Neo means new and lithic means stone. And we also see that word lithic in words like megalith, which is a really big rock. So all of these behind me are all megaliths. Now, if there was just one of them, we would call it a monolith. Mono, of course, meaning one, and lith still meaning stone. So, some important vocabulary. Now, what else was happening in the Neolithic era? Well, this era we saw a great expansion of agriculture. In a very real way, it was the beginning of human agriculture. And it was the ability to create more food that freed up human labor to work on different things. For example, like building giant megalithic structures, like these temples. Hey guys, it's very dark in here. I'm at the National Archaeological Museum in Valletta, in the country of Malta, and behind me is one of the great pieces of Neolithic or Stone Age art. It's called the Sleeping Lady. It was made about 5,000 years ago, and it was found here in a temple called the Hypogeum or Hal Saflieni. And if you look very closely at it, you'll see that it is a representation of a woman lying down to sleep. It's a mystery about what it actually represents. It could be a famous person, it could be a god, it could represent death, which is sometimes called the eternal sleep. It's very dark in here because the darkness will help preserve the small amounts of red ochre paint left on it and keep the color preserved. It's very neat.